Hey guys, welcome. This is the Unit 5 Study Guide, Chapter 5 Study Guide, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so formulas to memorize. Slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Hopefully these are being so repetitive that it's like, hey, we don't even need to know these. We have them memorized. Y equals mx plus b is my slope-intercept form, and point slope is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay, so with those three things, we can pretty much do everything we need to do and find the slope of the line containing these 2 points. So the first thing I have to do is I have to actually find the slope. So I label my points x1, y1, x2, y2. And I put in the formula right here. So it's going to be 3 minus a negative 7. Notice there's a negative built into the equation between the two y's. And then sometimes I just do the minus right there, and then that way I won't forget it. X2 is 6, and then that's negative 2. So we have to do our negatives, and we get 10 over 8, which is going to reduce to 5 over 4. So that's my slope. And it just says find the slope of the line, so that's all we have to do. 5 over 4. We're done. Find the slope of the line containing these 2 points. So again, just same thing. x1, y1, x2, y2. And if you want, put that negative built in. We're going to do the y2 first over the y1, and then x2, and then x1. Here, those become positive. That's going to become 15. And then 3 minus 3 is 0. So if you have 0 on the bottom, that's actually an undefined slope. Okay? You can say undefined slope or no slope. Do not say 0 slope. That's not a 0 slope. 0 would be 0 on the top. Alright, next one. x1, y1, x2, y2. Again, put those negatives in right away. We get negative 9 minus negative 9, negative 11 minus 4. Well, that becomes positive. Negative 9 plus 9 is 0, and that's negative 15. So here's the difference. Now we have 0 on the top. That would be a 0 slope. Okay, so there is a difference. And just for your reference, if we're looking at a graph, undefined slope goes up and down. Okay, and we usually call that a x equals line. And then 0 slope is horizontal, and we usually call that a y equals line. And we'll see that later. Find the slope of the given graph below. So if we don't use the slope formula, we can always count. I like to go left to right. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went down 4. And then I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Positive 5. So it's rise over run, down 4, right 5. So I get negative 4/5. And this one right here, like I said, this is flat, so we know that this is going to have a 0 slope. That's a y equals. In fact, this line is actually y equals 4 because it hits 4 on the y. Okay, what do we got? 3 pages left. Easy money. Okay. Identify the x and the y-intercept. So for the x-intercept and the y-intercept, it says identify the slope and the y-intercept. Oh, so we got to solve this for the y-intercept. Slope-intercept form. To do that, we're just going to subtract the 3x. Okay, they don't combine. And then we're going to add the 8 to both sides. Or sorry, divide the 8, negative 8, out on both sides. So that will cancel that, so I just get y equals, that's going to become positive 3 over 8 x, and negative 24, negative 3, 8 is going to become a positive 3. So my y-intercept is 3, and my slope is 3 over 8, because this is in the form of y equals mx plus b, and the b is the y-intercept, right? That's that piece. And the m is my slope, which is that piece. Alright, write the equation in slope-intercept form for a line with the slope of 2 and the y-intercept of 0, 7. So this is pretty fast. We literally can just write the answer. Slope is 2, and my y-intercept is negative 7. That easy. Uh-oh, plug in my thing. Hold on. Okay. Alright, there we go. Sorry. My computer was going to die. And now we're good. Alright, write the equation in slope-intercept form of the given graph. Okay, well, first thing is I see my y-intercepts right there, so my b value is going to be 4. And I just got to count, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, so down 2, and then over 1. So my slope is negative 2 over 1. So we get y equals negative 2x plus 4. Okay? Graph the line given by the equation negative 3x plus 2y equals 6. Identify the slope and y-intercept. So the easiest way would be to put this in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to add the 3x over. Again, usually that just means solve for y. And then we're going to divide everything by 2. We get y equals 3 over 2x plus 3. So my y-intercept is 3, so that's where I start. B, begin. And then my slope tells me how to move. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2. Okay, I can do the same thing. I can go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back 2. Something like that. Can we do it again? Yeah, just so we don't forget. So we're going to add 4x on both sides. 3y equals 4x plus 12. Divide by 3 to everything. You end up with y equals 4/3 x, and then 3 goes into 12 4 times. So I'm going to start at 4 on my y-intercept. B, begin. And my slope is 4 over 3. So I'm going to go up 4, and then over 3. I can also go down 4 and back 3. And there's my graph. Kind of looks like the last one a little bit. All right. 2 down, 2 to go. All right, it says graph the line of the given equation. So on this one, we just go to negative 3 on the x, and then we just graph up and down. Remember, x's are up and down. So there's the graph. What's the slope? Well, it's undefined. You don't have a slope when you do that. And my y-intercept is none. It never hits the y-axis. It doesn't do it. Write the equation of this graph. So this equation was x equals negative 3. Here we're hitting y at 2, so it's just y equals 2. And that'd be example of a 0 slope on that one. All right, so here we have an equation of a line that passes through a point and has a slope. Well, if we have a point and a slope, let's use point slope. Now, it doesn't say what form to leave this in, but we've been leaving everything in slope-intercept, so I'm going to continue that trend. So we get y minus y1, which is negative 7, equals the slope of negative 5 over 4, x minus a negative 4. Okay. So we have to distribute this. This is going to become positive. So we get negative 5 over 4x. Now, negative 5 over 4 times 4. The 4 is actually going to cancel. I'm going to just be left with negative 5. And over here we get y plus 7. The last step I have to do is subtract the 7 over. Take 7 away. So we get y equals negative 5 over 4x. Negative 7 minus, negative 5 minus 7 is a negative 12. And now we do it again. x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, we have to find the slope first. We're going to use slope formula first. I'm going to write it again so I don't forget. And let's plug it in again. The negatives built in. So I'm going to get negative 5, 7, 6, negative 2. Okay, so negative 5 minus 7 is going to give us a negative 12. And then add up, we get 8. That's going to reduce down. We always want to reduce our things. By the way, that was because those became positive. Reduce those down, so I think 4 goes into both. So negative 3 over 2. So there's my slope. And I have a point, and I have a slope, so let's use point slope. Okay, so I plug my point in. Y minus 7 equals my slope right there, negative 3 over 2, x minus a negative 2. That becomes positive. I distribute that, so I get y minus 7 equals negative 3 over 2x. And then when I distribute to times 2, notice the 2 is on the bottom, and I'm going to multiply the 2, so the 2's will cancel. So I'll just be left with negative 3. And you add 7 to both sides, and y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4. Okay. Write the equation of the line as an x-intercept of negative 6 and a y-intercept of 4. Okay. Well, let's think about this. So if I go y equals mx plus b, I already know my b value, so it's going to be y equals, I don't know, x plus 4, because that's my y-intercept. So I got to just find my slope. Well, the easiest way to do is my x-intercept is when my x is 6 and my y is 0, and my y-intercept is when my 0 is x and that is 4. So I'm just going to find the slope of those points, and then I'll be done. And so we get 4 minus 0, and we get 0 minus a negative 6. So that's going to be 4 over 6, which is 2 over 3. And we're good. Alright, moving on. Last page. Okay, identify the x and the y-intercept for the line given by the equation. Well, again, remember, I just said this. The x-intercept has a 0 for the y. So when we find the x-intercept, I have the x, but the y is 0. And then for the y-intercept, I have my x is 0. So essentially, you get to basically just remove a piece of this, so it makes the equation a lot easier because when you multiply by 0, it kind of just goes away. So here I'm just dividing by negative 3, and x equals negative 6. And here I'm just dividing by 9, and y equals 2. So I can do the same thing here, but I can go a little faster. I can just say, all right, on this one, 20 divided by 8, now not as nice looking, right? So my y-intercept is just going to really be 8y equals 20, and my x-intercept is the same thing. We're just going to remove that, and we get 4x equals 20. So that one's easy, it's 5. This one, not as nice. We get 20 over 8. We can divide that by 4, I think. So we get 5 over 2, which isn't super nice, but I wouldn't make you graph something like that. That'd be pretty neat. But there you go. All right, which two lines are parallel? Remember, parallel, same slope. Okay, so parallel, we got to find the same slope. Unfortunately, these aren't all in the right form, so it's hard for me to tell, so I have to do a little bit of math. I'm going to highlight my slope once I do find it. So here I have my slope. That one's easy to spot. And then here we're going to divide by a negative 6, but I really just got to focus on this. 4 over negative 6. Well, I could divide those by 2, and I'd get negative 2 over 3. So actually, that right there is parallel. And it says pick 2, so those are my two options. This is the first one I saw. Let's check this real quick. If I subtracted the 2, let's see if I did that right. Circle 2 choices. Well, I think those ones are parallel right there, and then I think these might be parallel over here too. We get negative 2x plus 12, and then divide by 3. This would be negative 3x divided by 2, so this one's not parallel. I'm having a feeling, I'll have to go back and check, but I have a feeling we would have 3. Maybe that's what they meant. Pick 1 and then 2 more. That was a little confusing, but I'm going to go with all 3 of these are parallel right there. Boom, they have the same slope. All right, perpendicular to one another. So we're looking now for opposite reciprocal slope. Okay, which is a little bit of a mouthful. Opposite reciprocal. So that would be like, you know, if you had 3 over 5, then the opposite reciprocal would be negative 5 over 3. So it's the opposite sign, one's positive, one's negative, and then, you know, we have a flipping of it. So right off the bat, we have a x equals and a y equals. Remember, x equals is up and down, y equals is left and right. So those are definitely perpendicular. I know that. This one has a slope of 3, so that's not going to be perpendicular to these two. But if I subtract, this, I'll end up with negative 3x plus 8, y equals, and negative 3 and 3 are not perpendicular. So just these two are the only perpendicular ones. So that one only had 2. All right, last 2 questions. Find the equation of a line that's parallel to this. So if it's parallel, that means I'm going to use the same slope I have. Done. And then I'm going to use this point. So it's using point slope formula. Versus if we look at this one right here, it's perpendicular. So I'm going to take the slope of not negative 3, but the opposite reciprocal, which would be 1 over 3. Because that's the opposite reciprocal. I flip the 3 over 1 to make it 1 over 3, and I change the sign. And I have my point x1, y1. So let's go ahead and finish that out. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And I don't know what I did over here. I'm going to do it over here, actually. So that's y minus 2 equals 2x minus 6. Distribute. And we get y minus 2 equals, well, off the page over there, 2x minus 12. And then add the 2. Get y equals 2x plus 10. And again, we can see 2 and 2, they have the same slope, so we know they're parallel. All right, next one, we're going to get 1/3, so we get y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Y minus a negative 7, it's going to become positive, equals 1/3 x minus 9. Distribute, we're going to get 1/3 x. 1/3 of 9, so basically 9 divided by 3, it's going to be negative 3. Y plus 7, subtract the 7, and we get y equals 1/3 x minus 10. And 1/3 and negative 3 are opposite reciprocals, so I'm all good. Alright guys, thank you very much. I will catch you on the flip side, or during class. Probably someone will catch you. Good luck.